Oh, now we are going to be getting our first finalist. We have Yannick Sinner, and we are going to go into our second match into Carlos Alcaraz, Alexander Zverev. Mike was muted there for a second. You didn't get my whole opening speech. I had a whole opening speech here. Man, we got Carlos Alcaraz, Alexander Zverev, gonna be a great one. Number 2, number 3 in the world. Terrence Atmain, amazing tournament. So it's done, but amazing tournament. We're gonna be seeing him for a while. So we're gonna get this one fired up. Could not be more excited for what is to come in this match. Carlos Alcaraz, Alexander Zverev have played 11 times in the past, with Zverev coming out ahead, 6-5. Oh, and there's a little bit of rain that happened over there in Cincinnati, so we have about a 10-minute delay on the match. I thought that the rain was gone in Cincinnati, but the rain is still there. We're going to be seeing them a little bit later than expected, but looks like they're cleaning up the court and that we will be underway shortly. So back to Carlos Alcaraz and Alexander Zverev. Carlos Alcaraz, he got into a tough battle with Andrei Rublev. Rublev has been in pretty good form lately, maybe for the first time that he's really been out in front of his compatriot, Daniel Medvedev. So interesting to see that the top Russian player at the moment is Andrei Rublev. I don't think I would have expected that. So Andrei Rublev comes out and really did all he could do to earn that match. But in the end, Andrei Rublev falls to Carlos Alcaraz. Even though it was a sloppy win, it did happen. And Carlos Alcaraz finds himself in the semifinals against Zverev, who won against Ben Shelton. Okay, Ben Shelton, he has had an amazing he's had an amazing run as of late. He's done a whole lot for American tennis. A lot to be proud of. Zverev is comes out in front in that match by quite a bit. Ben Shelton looked gassed. He looked confused. He looked just not himself. So we will see him at the U.S. Open. Frankly, I don't think that there really is anything. I don't think that loss from Zverev is going to mean anything in the long term. I think that loss to Zverev is just, it's negligible. Okay, he just won Toronto. He's been winning, and the only thing that Ben Shelton has to do is keep his head up high, because he's been doing so great. I really hope, the only hope I have when they went back into that locker room was to shake off this loss as quickly as possible. Of course, Ben Shelton really would have liked to get his first win over Zverev, because he has lost 3 consecutive times to him, and one of those losses did come in 2024 at the quarterfinals. In this, so it's same position that Ben Shelton finds himself in. He knows he's been playing great, and he goes in and he loses. So I understand that can be a really tough loss to take, but there's so many reasons for Ben Shelton to keep his head up extremely high. Now, going on to the semifinals and where we're at the moment. Zverev played fine in the quarters, but we really don't know where he's at. He had a little bit of a health issue that came up there where he was, breathing real heavily. Got an inhaler at one point. So, there were some questions about, his fitness and where he was at. But overall, I mean, I think Zverev's fine. I think he's going to be fine. And I think we're going to be seeing a good in-form Zverev versus Carlos that yesterday he didn't look brilliant. He just didn't. If Carlos from yesterday plays Jannik Sinner of today, he gets beaten very, very quickly, I think. He gets beaten pretty quickly and, convincingly. So it's really tough to say what we're going to see from this match. I would not put a Zverev win out of the question. I really wouldn't. The return from Carlos didn't look brilliant. He struggled at times. We did not see any of the razzle dazzle, the creativity. We didn't see Carlos Alcaraz as we know him yesterday. And maybe somebody else has a different take on that. Maybe somebody else thinks a little bit differently and thinks that, oh no, Carlos Alcaraz, he's just fine. He's going to get it back. I don't know. The few matches that I've watched from Carlos, I wasn't stunned. Especially when we see Jannik Sinner rolling through opponents in record-breaking time. Okay, he beat FAA in an hour 15. 0-2. I mean, there's Jannik Sinner is on a different level than any other player right now. Jannik Sinner is in a run that he's in a level right now that is similar to Djokovic in 2015 to 2020. Who is going to beat him? I really don't know. And there doesn't seem to be any clear answer to it, but we may get a glimpse of it today during Zverev and Carlos. Maybe Carlos comes back out and he's swinging for the fences and everything's hitting and it's clicking and we go, okay, all right, I get it. You're Carlos Alcaraz. I shouldn't have doubted you. Why would I ever doubt? But there's just question marks over my head today as we go into this match. In any case, if you're here for the first time, my name is Cody, Texas tennis guy here. Welcome to the stream. We are going to have a great time this evening watching Carlos and Zverev answer some of those questions that I just posed. There is a little bit of a rain delay, so we're waiting for that to settle, and then we're going to be into the match. So hope that you stay around. I definitely want you to hang out and watch this match with us. We're going to be covering it all, and we'll definitely be here for tomorrow. We've got the semifinals of the women. We've got Iga Swiatek versus Elena Rybakina. Elena Rybakina looked amazing against Sabalenka yesterday. Left Sabalenka wondering and questioning, not able to come up with any responses. Even in the second set, you would think that maybe Arena was going to come back after that break that she took and have, some one-on-one questioning time with herself, but it didn't happen. Elena just kept rolling. The serve was clutch and did not waver. And then we're going to also have Jasmine Paolini and Karuta Matova. Jasmine Paolini pulled out an awesome match yesterday against Coco Gauff. But, and there always is a but, the match was really on Coco Gauff's racket. Coco Gauff stacked up errors and stacked up double faults. And that's what happened. Jasmine Paolini, all credit to her. She stayed in there and did whatever it was that she needed to do to win. She rolled her ankle in that third set at a 3-1, I believe it was. She was up 3-1, rolled her ankle. Coco did come back a little bit there, and then Paolini did close it out in the end. So the ankle seemed to be fine. She did call a trainer out on court, but she didn't have it wrapped. She didn't take any painkillers. She didn't get a massage. The ankle was I think it was mostly shock that had her get the trainer out there. I mean, playing in a Masters 1000 quarterfinal and you roll your ankle slightly and you fall in the middle of a point, which the point she did win, by the way. She won that point that she fell. It's going to be a little shocking, and you're going to think about it for a second and be ginger on it, treat it a little carefully. But she did end up moving normally as far as I saw. So I don't think that the ankle will be an issue tomorrow, although I'm sure that we'll hear, the announcers making something about it. We'll see if it's taped up, but I like Paolini in that I think we're okay. We're back. What the hell? Oh, as soon as I started this, I had internet issues go crazy. Oh my gosh. Worst timing ever. That's okay. Here we are. We're back. We're not going to let anything stop us. Carlos Alcaraz, Alexander Zverev. Oh, man. As soon as I fired up the stream, I gave my intro speech. I laid it all out there. I gave you everything you needed to know. Boom. Internet. You're done. You're done with your stream for now. Just take a little break. Give me just a couple minutes. I'm going to get several windows fired up here on my computer to get us running smoothly. Oh, boy. Hey, they never said that streaming was going to be easy. A lot of this stuff that is going on the stream, I am just learning. I feel like I'm relearning how a computer works, to be honest with you. What's going on in the match? Are y'all watching the match? I'm watching the match now. I got it up. I know there were 7 people waiting to see the stream. How's Alcaraz doing, guys? Does he look all right? And my CPU is going crazy at the moment. So we're going to pray that my laptop doesn't erupt into flames. Other than that, we're doing great. $500 subscribers, and I'm moving from a laptop to a PC, guys. Welcome into the channel. I believe I'm set up here. I'm ready. Zverev won his serve. Okay. 1. And Alcaraz is down in his serve. And we're back. Type a W in the chat if everything on your end is running smoothly at this point. Type a W. I feel like we just won. We just beat the internet gods. They tried to stop us. It's not going to happen. Alcaraz at 30 all. 40-30 now. Thank you for the 2 likes that we have on the video. Even though the beginning of this has been a disaster. Alcaraz gets his serve, and he's on the board. 1 all. 1 all. All right. Serve from Zverev into the backhand of Alcaraz. That backhand from Alcaraz goes in the net. Man, after all that chaos, I still feel like something's wrong. Serve from Zverev to the backhand of Alcaraz. Forehand from Zverev to the forehand of Alcaraz. Forehand from Zverev in the net. 15-0. Someone on the other end, let me know. Is everything up, running smoothly? Type a W in there if we are running smoothly on your end. Fault from Zverev. Zverev serves to the backhand of Alcaraz. Nice backhand from Alcaraz. He comes in for a forehand volley, puts it away. Return from Alcaraz goes long, 30 all. Zverev to serve. To the forehand of Alcaraz, that's an ace. 40, 30. Zverev serves to the forehand of Alcaraz. Forehand of Zverev. Another forehand from Alcaraz to the forehand of Zverev. Backhand from Alcaraz goes long. Zverev gets a hold. Start this off with 3 holds of serve. All right. We're pretty much just even and normal at the moment. So if you missed my predictions, I think Zverev has a very good opportunity in this match. Alcaraz has not looked in his best form in this tournament. Zverev has looked good. So I'm very hesitant to place all of my energy into Alcaraz. Zverev could pull this one out. And that's why I actually am gonna pick Zverev to win this match. It may take him 3, but I do think Zverev is actually gonna pull through in this match and take down Alcaraz. Head to head, they're also 5-6. Zverev leading that. I think he might extend it. See if I can get this camera to focus. Did we get it? Kinda. Not really. Serve from Alcaraz is good. And we're in a rally. Zverev. Back and forth. But I haven't. 15 for Zverev. Let's see. All right. There we go. That's sharper. Could use a better camera, could use a better setup, but here we are, live. Serve from Alcaraz. To the backhand is Zverev. Forehand from Alcaraz goes long. Love 30. Hey, Max. Serve. Were you here for the chaos at the beginning of the stream, Max? Something's going on in the stands. Oh, there's multiple people. People overheating in the stands. This is happening a lot. Oh, as soon as I started up the stream, had my I had my whole speech planned out. I executed it excellently. My mic was on mute. Unmuted the mic. Gave the speech again. Internet went out. Like, and then I hopped back in. Finally, after Zverev had held his serve, and now there's a bunch of commotion happening in the top of the stands at the moment. So we gotta people. I don't know. There's been a lot of people passing out in the heat lately. I feel like it's been happening more often than usual. Were you in a heat wave in the United States? Is that what's happening? I don't know. Happened yesterday against was it Sabalenka and Swiatek? It was like 10 in the morning. Somebody passed out in the heat. Drink your water, folks. Drink your water. Now that we're at a pause, I am gonna give. I'll run through my speech again, okay? And that's the fact that Zverev has looked really, really good. We're gonna give an abbreviated speech. Zverev has looked really, really good, and Alcaraz hasn't looked brilliant. He hasn't looked like himself. He went Rublev in. If Alcaraz was in good form, he would have ran through Rublev. And that's probably what we expected. Probably expected 2 sets. Maybe one of them's close, and then the other one, Alcaraz rolls through. Alcaraz got through, but just barely. Rublev did everything he could to deserve that match. And it really was actually disappointing to see Rublev lose at the end of that match because it ended on a double fault, right? And it was something that really gave me pause to consider Zverev or to consider Carlos as the favorite in this match. And that's why I actually am going to take Zverev as the favorite in this match. I think that he's the better player right now. And maybe Alcaraz is going to have to do some soul searching before the U.S. Open if he's going to make a run for the title. But, and then let's say Carlos wins. Let's say I'm wrong and Carlos wins and he goes and plays Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner is absolutely rolling everyone in this tournament. Jannik Sinner is playing like prime Djokovic. He's winning matches in record time. He's holding serve. His first serve, he's winning at 90%. Or something crazy like that. You don't want to be on the court with Jannik Sinner at the moment. Okay? Jannik Sinner is dangerous. Carlos Alcaraz, he doesn't look dangerous. So I really do think that Zverev will win this match. Jannik Sinner takes the title, defends it. And going into the U.S. Open, Jannik Sinner, full focus. Who can beat him? I don't know if... I guess one thing that bothered me a little bit was how well Carlos took the loss at Wimbledon. It was... I forget the words exactly that he said, but it sounded like he was okay with it. He was okay with losing. It was fine. And if you're going to play these guys like Sinner, who they want to win every single point, and they want to win every point convincingly, you can't be okay with that. You know? You can be a good sport, and you can say congratulations, and you can do all that, but there was something uncompetitive in the way that Carlos had talked about his Wimbledon defeat. And I don't remember the exact words that were said. But, you know, they weren't fighting words. And that's all I have to say about that. So, they're still waiting here. I'm going to hop out real quick and run to the bathroom. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be here. I hope 100% that I'm wrong about Alcaraz. I want him to be that vicious competitor. But he seems distracted. Be right back. Okay. The stoppage of play is still underway. You heard my prediction here. What is your prediction for this match? Am I wrong? Is Carlos Alcaraz the same as he ever was? Or Is Zverev going to take this win? They really got a stoppage here. Something going on. Hey, somebody else gave a like to the video. Thank you very much. You're a legend for sure. Something going on in the stands. Probably someone with a heat stroke. And play is paused. So, a little bit of chaos here on the stream and a little bit of chaos on the court. Player is going to resume. If you weren't here earlier, Alexander Zverev is my favorite for this match. Okay. Carlos Alcaraz serving at love 30. Serve to the forehand of Zverev. To the backhand of Carlos. Zverev up at the net. Carlos there. Hits it wide. Zverev with 3 break points on Carlos. What do we have here? Serve from Carlos. Ace. 115 mile an hour down the center. Ace. Serve. In the net. Second serve. The forehand is Zverev. Carlos at the net. Drop shot. Good. 30-40. Protects another break point. Serve from Carlos is a fault. Second serve to the backhand is Zverev. Short for Carlos. Drop shot. That's good too. Okay. We're at deuce. Break points erased. Break points erased. Soft hands of Carlos coming in clutch here. Zverev was off to that thing so fast, too. It just did not bounce. Serve to the forehand of Zverev. Forehand from Carlos. Forehand from Zverev again. Backhand from Carlos to the backhand of Zverev. Forehand from Carlos to the forehand of Zverev. That's in. Backhand from Zverev to the backhand of Carlos. Zverev, short ball, comes in, hits it wide. He's going to want that one back because that was a short ball that he could have put away. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Next serve from Carlos at advantage. Serve from Carlos is a fault. Second serve to the backhand of Zverev. Forehand from Carlos to the backhand of Zverev. Backhand from Carlos again. Backhand to backhand. Slice backhand from Carlos down the line. Zverev hits it out. Carlos weathers that little storm. That was impressive. Down, love 40. He holds. Zverev was staring down the barrel of a break. And here we are. Serve from Zverev is a let. Second serve. Sorry, first serve is a fault. Second serve. Serve to the backhand of Carlos, to the backhand of Zverev. Backhand from Carlos to the forehand of Zverev. Backhand from Carlos down to the backhand of Zverev. Slice backhand from Carlos is good. He's in control. Drop shot from Carlos. Up at the net. Little crazy wobbly point. Zverev gets it. Zverev gets that one. Oh. No way that I can announce a point like that. Drop shot from Zverev. Zverev gets it, and he gets another. Carlos gets one, and Zverev ends it up at the net. That's a good win from Zverev. That's the type of point that we would expect Carlos to win, but Zverev gets it. Serve from Zverev to the forehand of Carlos. Forehand from Zverev to the backhand of Carlos. Backhand from Zverev to the backhand of Carlos. Oh, that one almost went out. Forehand from Zverev goes long. 15-all. I will say, I like the way that Carlos looks today a lot better than I did against Rublev. Zverev needs some courage today. Serve from Zverev to the backhand of Carlos. Forehand from Zverev to the forehand of Carlos in the net. A couple weeks ago, I guess after Wimbledon, Zverev was training in Mallorca with Tony Nadal, and he had an opportunity to sit down with Rafa, and Rafa told Zverev he needs to play with more bravery on the big points. Serve from Zverev to the forehand of Carlos. Backhand from Zverev is a winner. The return from Carlos went short. Zverev got up to it and put it away. So that was served. That was not served. That was reported on the Nothing Major podcast with John Isner, Jack Sock, Sam Querrey. Serve from Zverev to the forehand of Carlos. Goes long. That's a good service game from Zverev. So Zverev shared that information on the Nothing Major podcast with Sam Querrey and John Isner and those guys. And he had an opportunity to sit down with Rafa at some dinners. Rafa, he was very impressed and honored with how much energy and in just intensity that Rafa engaged in conversation with him and told him what he thinks his game needs. And what came out of that conversation was that Zverev needs to play with more bravery in big points, and could not actually. I've been thinking that and saying it to my family and anyone that will listen for years. Zverev gets cold feet. Zverev is afraid of victory. Hey, Mac, goes Zverev. Yes, sir. Zverev is my favorite in this match, believe it or not. I think when the last stream started with Yannick Sinner and Terrence Atmain, I think that we started off with like 20 viewers, and I came in very hot for Yannick Sinner, and I think I scared off a bunch of Terrence Atmain fans. Sorry, I just gotta call it like I see it. Yannick Sinner, Terrence Atmain, no match. Serve from Carlos to the forehand of Zverev. Forehand from Carlos goes wild. Glad to see you here, Mac. Thank you for the like on the video. If that was you. Probably was. Serve from Carlos is an ace. The one thing that I have really liked from Carlos's game lately has been the serve. I noticed it in the final of Wimbledon. He was cracking out these 130, 135. I think he even hit a 140 at one point. And I was just like, what the hell? When did Carlos start doing this? That's a fault from Carlos, though. Serve to the forehand of Zverev, to the forehand of Carlos. Forehand from Zverev goes out. I think Zverev was checking his blood sugar levels in the changeover. A funny time to do that, but he did. Serve from Carlos is an ace at 108 out wide. Serve from Carlos is a fault. Second serve to the backhand of Zverev, to the forehand of Carlos. Backhand from Zverev to the forehand of, or backhand of Carlos. Forehand from Zverev goes wide. All right, game. 3-all. Zverev staying toe-to-toe with the Spaniard. If he can tap into Tony Nadal's advice of being brave, I think he gets this. If not, I don't know when. Serve from Zverev to the forehand of Carlos. Zverev hits it out. Serve from Zverev is a fault. Second serve. Let. And you can almost feel it in your blood when Zverev is about to double fault. Oh my God. So stressful. Serve to the backhand of Carlos. That backhand goes out. 15-all. $15-all. Serve from Zverev to the forehand of Carlos. Forehand from Zverev to the backhand of Carlos. Backhand from Zverev goes long. Zverev serves. Backhand of Carlos. Backhand from Zverev to the forehand of Carlos. Forehand from Zverev. Carlos at the net. He gets a volley. He hits that volley deep. Oh boy, Zverev got an issue here. Serve. Fault. Second serve. To the forehand of Carlos. Goes long. Zverev, serve to the forehand of Carlos. Short. Zverev. Forehands. Backhand from Zverev to the backhand of Carlos. Backhand from Zverev to the forehand of Carlos. Short ball for Carlos. He's up at the net. Puts it away. Zverev had an opportunity to come into the net on that game. On that point, actually, sorry. And he didn't take it. He had a chance with a short ball, and he just did not come into the net. He respected Carlos too much. And that's what the announcer's saying right here, right now on Tennis Channel, saying that Zverev was very passive on that shot and took that short ball and just put it right back into the center of the court. And you're going to get punished. You're going to experience the pain. Okay. Let's see how Zverev responds here. Carlos back to serve. Serves in the net. Second serve. To the forehand is Zverev. Forehand from Carlos. To the forehand is Zverev. Forehand from Carlos again goes long. Carlos serves to the forehand is Zverev. That goes out. $15-all. Ace from Carlos. Serve. Another ace from Carlos. 109 down the center of the tee. Carlos has won 11 of the last 14 points. Serve. Oh, boy. Another ace. Ridiculous. Insane. Won 12 of the last 15 now. Serve from Zverev. There's a fault. Second serve. To the backhand of Carlos. To the backhand of Zverev. Wide. Love 15. No, no, no. Come on, Zverev. I picked you, Zverev. Do what I asked you to do. Serve. To the forehand of Carlos. Unreturnable. Right? Players are supposed to perform how I think they should perform, right? Right? All right. 15-0. Serve. Fault. Second serve. To the backhand of Carlos. That goes out from Carlos. So those are chances and misses that Zverev needs to take pretty seriously. Follow him up with a good serve. To the backhand of Carlos. Forehand from Zverev is good. Volley from Zverev into the open court. Gets him even. 30-all. I will say Carlos is hitting better on the run today than he was yesterday. Yesterday, couldn't do anything. Serve to the forehand of Carlos. That's good. Zverev comes in. Carlos hits it out. Zverev looking down the barrel of a hold. Oh, I guess I was a point behind. Zverev got the hold. Damn it. My bad, guys. Trying to get better at that. Keeping up with the... I think after I watch so many matches in a row, it's easy for me to just, like, space out. I'm trying to keep my attention right on it. Really sharp, but oof. Harder than you think it would be. But Zverev is still in the set. He has had 3 break points against Carlos, so not out of the question here that he could break Carlos, but this set is much more important for Zverev than it is for Carlos. Zverev just has... You feel like Zverev just kind of has baggage from being around for so long, not having won a Grand Slam, and he needs some belief. Some Terrence Atmain belief. That guy believes. Carlos serving for the set. Serve to the backhand of Zverev in the net. And he just blocks the serve back. It's not a fast serve. That was like one... What? What was it? Show us. It was like 115 probably. Ace from Carlos. 30-love. Zverev. In trouble. Serve. Oh, that's an ace as well. Oh, boy. The Carlos serve has become a weapon. That was not the case a couple years ago. A couple years ago, the Carlos serve was almost a liability. But now it has become such a great weapon. Serve to the backhand of Zverev. Backhand from Carlos in the net. 1 set point saved. Serve. Ace. Wow. Carlos Alcaraz. Take a bow. That was a great way to close out the set. And Alexander Zverev is left wanting. He was up 30-love, and someone in the stands had a medical issue. And after that, it was all Carlos. That break helped Carlos. Zverev had a opportunity, didn't ride the wave, as it were. So here we are. Hey, if you are new into the channel, haven't been here before, thank you very much for checking out the stream. My name is Cody. Massive appreciation for you being here, and hope that you stick around. We'll be sliding into the second set here very shortly. Let's see if we can pull up, in the meantime, some quick stats. Some better stats than just what is... Oh, Stan Wawrinka won yesterday. Look at that. He's playing in Cancun. That's nice. He's playing a challenger. All right. Zverev is the blue. Carlos is the red. There's more winners and more chances taken for Carlos. Took the opportunity with the break. All right. Let's move on. Second set is underway. Zverev up at the net with a lob. Puts it away. My girlfriend is in Utah, and she's sending me pictures. She's on a hike. Serve from Zverev. Gets a backhand error from Alcaraz. I guess that's rude for me not to look at the picture. I'll look at her picture. Look at that. Mountains, pasture, little river. Tell her awesome. Back to the match. Carlos on a stretch. Backhand. Zverev with a backhand down the center of the court. Stop hitting down the center of the court, Zverev. That was a rally that went Carlos's way. Zverev serves in the net. Second serve. To the forehand of Carlos in the net. I don't want to get to the point where I'm happy when Zverev is winning points. He's been playing so well, and it's just fear. Serve from Zverev. Goes out. It's just fear that's keeping him from beating Alcaraz. You're good enough. Serve. Double fault. Am I totally off base? Or, am I reading the situation correctly? Zverev has been in really good form. Carlos hasn't been great. Zverev can do this. Serve to the forehand of Alcaraz. Forehand from Zverev to the forehand of Alcaraz. Backhand from Zverev to the backhand of Alcaraz. Backhand from Zverev again to the backhand of Alcaraz. Oh, off the tape from Alcaraz. Forehand. Zverev on the run. Can't get there. We're going to go to deuce. But today, Alcaraz is not playing the way that he played against Rublev. That's for sure. Serve from Zverev. Is elect. First serve. Fault. This feels like a long game, and this is the opening game of the second set. But that's the way Zverev plays. Slow as hell. Serve. To the backhand of Alcaraz. Backhand from Zverev to the forehand of Alcaraz. Puts him on a stretch. Advantage Zverev. It just seems like any match with Zverev takes hours. Zverev serves a fault. Second serve. Even his wait time between serves is forever. Serve. To the forehand of Alcaraz. Backhand from Zverev to the forehand of Alcaraz. Forehand from Zverev to the backhand of Alcaraz. Backhand from Zverev to the backhand of Alcaraz again. Alcaraz gets cross court to a forehand and hits a winner. Oh, baby. Woo! Yeah, that's the kind of shot right there. That's the kind of point that is going to crush the spirit of Zverev. Serve. The forehand of Alcaraz. Forehand from Zverev to the forehand of Alcaraz. Goes wide. I'm going to get that word out eventually. Watchalong serve out. It was wide, by the way, guys. Serve from Zverev to the backhand of Alcaraz. Backhand from Zverev down the center of the court. Stop doing that shit. God dang it. Zverev is just a little passive. He's playing these balls down the center of the court and just saying, hey, take advantage of the point if you would like to. Serve from Zverev to the backhand of Alcaraz. Backhand from Zverev. Zverev up at the net. Hits the ball in the net. Break point, Alcaraz. Serve. Ace from Zverev. This is the first game of the set, but it seems like it means a lot. 9-minute game. Nine-minute game so far. Zverev serves. The backhand of Alcaraz. Forehand from Alcaraz to the backhand of Zverev. Backhand from Zverev again to the forehand of Alcaraz, who opens it up with a winner. We're back to break point. Zverev just, man, he just does a thing where for a guy like Carlos, it's like feeding practice. Serve to the forehand of Carlos. Backhand from Zverev to the backhand of Carlos. Forehand from Zverev. Out wide. It's good. And he takes control of the point. Zverev in the net. Carlos breaks. Opening game of the second set. Zverev just doesn't take very many chances. He's not taking advantage of the corners. He is hitting the ball down the center of the court. And just letting Carlos tee off on it. So, there we go. But he has all the skills. He has the talent. He has the weapons. He's just not using them. Serve from Carlos to the backhand of Zverev. Double fault from Carlos. Serve from Carlos in the net. Second serve to the backhand of Zverev. Backhand from Carlos to the backhand of Zverev. Forehand from Carlos to the forehand of Zverev. Forehand from Carlos to the forehand of Zverev again. Back and forth we go. Zverev hits it out. Zverev hunched over, a little exhausted. Zverev feeling it. Carlos, forehand down the center of the court. Easy money. That's a winner. 30-15. Zverev looks deflated. Zverev looks deflated. Serve from Alcaraz is an ace, and Zverev doesn't even try for it. Oh, no. Serve. In the net. Second serve. In the net. What is going on with Zverev? Body language looks deflated. He didn't even try for one of the serves. Serve from Carlos is a fault. Second serve is a double fault. Deuce. Come on, Zverev. You can't believe your good luck. Carlos Alcaraz is double faulted twice in a row to give you deuce. He's not going to give you very many opportunities. Serve. Fault from Carlos. That's 5 in a row. Serve. Double fault. Oh, no. Advantaged Zverev on Carlos's 6th double fault in a row. If that doesn't perk Sasha up, nothing will. Serve. Fault. Second serve. To the backhand of Zverev. Forehand from Carlos. To the backhand of Zverev. Goes out. Oh, boy. There was a moment, and I think that moment came and went. Carlos is probably back. Going to be focused. We got a 5-minute game going on so far. Serve from Carlos. To the forehand is Zverev. Lands on the back of the line. Backhand from Zverev. To the forehand of Carlos. Forehand from Carlos to the backhand of Zverev. Backhand from Carlos to the backhand of Zverev again. Forehand from Carlos down the center. Carlos in charge of the point. One hitting the pace on the ball. Zverev comes to the net. Carlos chucks up a lob. And that goes out. Advantage to Zverev. Zverev is exhausted after that point. Zverev is doubled over, elbows on the knees, trying to get air into his lungs. Serve from Carlos. fault. Second serve to the backhand of Zverev. Forehand from Carlos. Goes long. Zverev wins that game. Zverev is back there trying to get his breath. Luckily, Carlos is changing his shirt. Zverev gets an opportunity. I've never seen this. Zverev is back there, hunched over, trying to get a little bit of a break before he has to serve to Carlos. Hey, if you are here for the first time ever, thank you very much. Hope that you stay a while. Check the stream out. You're awesome for being here. Serve from Zverev is a fault. Looked like a little bit of a struggling fault there. The ball went so long. It looked like he was just tired. Serve from Zverev again. To the backhand of Carlos. Forehand from Zverev. To the forehand of Carlos. That forehand lands inside the line for a winner. Serve from Zverev. Down the tee to the forehand of Carlos. He can't return it. 15-all. Serve from Zverev. To the backhand of Carlos. Backhand from Zverev. Comes up to the net. Drop shot volley from Zverev is good. 30-15. Zverev just needs a little bit of life. A little bit of belief. I don't think he's physically tired. I think he's mentally defeated. And checked out. And he's thinking, oh no. It's happening again. Serve from Zverev. To the backhand of Carlos. Backhand from Zverev in the net. I don't know. It's hard to say when you're not there and you're not in their skin, of course. But we know the issues that Zverev has had in the past. And serve from Zverev to the forehand of Carlos. Backhand from Zverev. Cross court. Carlos hits it out. He's not happy with himself with that one. Serve from Zverev. The forehand of Carlos. Forehand from Zverev. It just looks tired. Every shot from Zverev looks tired. Drop shot from Carlos. Does not make it over the net. Zverev is going to go up 2-1. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm 100% wrong. Zverev is just exhausted and worn out. But I think that it's more mental. I think if we had John McEnroe in the commentary box, he'd be talking about the mental weight that is pressed on Zverev in this match. This is the kind of match that Zverev has to overcome mentally. He is stressed. He's under pressure. This is a match from in the world number 2, Carlos Alcaraz, who doesn't necessarily look like prime Carlos Alcaraz. He is beatable, and Zverev could do this, but he needs to believe in himself. Unless this is I know that Zverev has diabetes, so that maybe there could be a legitimate health thing happening. But with the mental struggles that we know Zverev has had over the course of his career, it's really hard to see this right here as not the manifestation of intense stress. Type in the chat if you think I'm wrong, but I don't know if I buy the exhaustion from Zverev at this moment in the match. I don't know if I buy it. I think that this is a manifestation of a lack of belief and a lack of mental toughness. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Really. If I'm being a dick, let me know. Zverev is taking a break off court at the moment. I mean, what's the temperature in Cincinnati? I'm older than Zverev. I went outside. I worked out. I walked around. I'm not a professional athlete. It's 85 in Cincinnati. It's not like it's 100. It's not 100 degrees. You know, and if you've ever seen the Marty Fish interview on Andy Roddick's podcast, Served, mental stress can manifest itself in bizarre physical fatigue. You know? Remember back when, what match was that? Where there were several matches, maybe 2 years ago, that Carlos was playing. There's so much pressure and expectation on Carlos 2 years ago because he was playing so damn well, and he started cramping. And John McEnroe called it. John McEnroe said, these are... when you are stressed, your body can cramp. Your body can cramp up. I think similar thing right here. Zverev sees that, hey, he could actually maybe do this, and he's scared of it. Well, while Zverev is taking a break, I am also going to run off and go to the bathroom real quick. I will be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. I will be right back here in about 60 seconds. Thank you. Okay. Zverev is walking back on court, walking a little bit languidly, but he is walking back on court. Man, this has been a match with interruptions on my end and on their end. Is serve from Carlos. Goes into the net. Backhand from Zverev. Goes long. Were you here for my speech, Mac? Serve from Carlos. Is a let. Serve. Fault. Serve. To the backhand of Zverev. To the forehand of Carlos. Carlos at the net. But Zverev doesn't get it over the net. I think if... And John McEnroe is probably the commentator that I respect the most on Tennis Channel because I feel like he just says it how it is. I think that this is not a physical thing from Zverev. I think this is mental. I think that, and you call me out if I'm being an ass about this, but I think Zverev is under intense stress and fear, and it's coming out physically. Serve to the forehand of Zverev. Goes out. There's a Zverev, and it all comes from the fact of this conversation that Tony and Rafa and Zverev all had together. And Rafa just came out and said it to Zverev, you need to be more brave. Serve from Zverev in the net. And Zverev can see that Carlos is maybe not at the tippity top of his game and that he can do this. And it's scaring the hell out of him. Forehand from Carlos to the forehand is Zverev. Forehand from Carlos again to the forehand is Zverev. Forehand to forehand till Carlos opens it up down the line. Inside out forehand from Carlos. Winner down the line. That was too easy. Zverev left it up there for him. Carlos is not going to let this opportunity slide. And I'm going to be proven wrong because I took Zverev as the favorite. Vamos, Carlitos. Vamos, Carlitos. Ghost, good to see you back here. Serve. And backhand from Carlos goes long. Serve from Zverev. Down the tee to the forehand of Carlos. Backhand from Carlos to the backhand of Zverev. Backhand from... Oh, that's a sick little slice. Oh, baby. Stop. I think the commentators on Tennis Channel are being way too generous to Zverev right now. Serve from Zverev to the forehand of Carlos. Forehand from Zverev. He looked like he just gave up on that point. But Carlos hit it in the net anyways. So he gets some help. Serve from Zverev to the forehand of Carlos. Forehand from Zverev. That's a good shot. That was a big shot. Okay. Zverev did enough to get the game. I'm not in the body of Zverev, so I can't say anything definitively. I don't know his medical history, anything like that. But I do know his history on court of letting fear get the best of him. The double fault issues. Not getting the wins that he thinks he deserves in Grand Slams. This isn't a Grand Slam, but he is playing Carlos Alcaraz. It might as well be a Grand Slam. Because he's playing someone that he would play in the final of a Grand Slam. I'm getting no pushback in the chat, so I'm just going to... I just think that I'm going to... I think I'm right. Zverev walking back to the service line. Carlos to serve. He's not going to let up. Zverev has also spoken off court about how much he is just struggling in his life at the moment. Backhand from Zverev goes out. After the first round loss at Wimbledon, Zverev, Carlos did not lose the first round of Wimbledon. Zverev spoke about how unhappy he was and how he's not feeling any joy and any excitement in his life. And that is going to affect you when you're playing a tennis match in front of thousands of fans. He doesn't even try. Zverev sits there after that return that goes to the forehead of Carlos, and he doesn't even try to go get that ball. Hey! I agree. We got it. MKB coming in clutch. Yeah, baby. Somebody. Backhand from Carlos to the backhand of Zverev. Forehand from Carlos to the forehand of Zverev. Zverev just wanders over there, doesn't even try. Thank you. 40. 40 for Carlos. Backhand from Zverev to the backhand of Carlos. Carlos rolling. Three all. And I think that the interview with Zverev, I think the interview from Marty Fish with Andy Roddick on the Served podcast has really changed the way that I think about tennis players on court and how much the stress and the pressure and the weight can weigh on them. And that they can feel physically sick and they can cramp and they can check out. And I'm not trying to be hard on Zverev because hey, he is number 3 in the world in a sport that I love and I wish I could be 3 in the world. Incredible. He's doing something that very few people in the world have ever done. But as a viewer, we're still gonna watch and we're still gonna have our opinions about what's going on. Backhand from Carlos to the backhand of Zverev. Backhand from Carlos again to the forehand of Zverev. Goes wide. When center was off and Zverev was number 2 and Carlos number 3, Zverev didn't even take advantage of that time when he was number 1. Was Zverev number 1 earlier this year? I didn't watch a whole ton of tennis early in this year. Really? No, Zverev wasn't number one. Zverev was never number one in the world. I must be misreading your message. Oh, he was seeded number one at tournaments. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. He was the number one seed at tournaments. Carlos gets a game. Zverev just looking a little weird. And some credit to him, he did look weird yesterday against Ben, and he was winning. So, I don't know. Because he could just be, I don't know, he's 28 years old? I guess, when you are 28, some health concerns can start to come into play. But Zverev changing his socks and shoes. He's seems to be taking any opportunity that he can to extend the time here in this match. And MKB, I really love John McEnroe as a commentator. I would say, like I really respect John McEnroe as a commentator. I think that in a world where everyone wants to say something positive and be sympathetic and give people excuses, John McEnroe is less likely to do that, and he's more likely to say the thing that people are afraid to say. I I take I take some cues from that and say that right now there may be some physical stuff happening with Zverev, but this is as much mental as it is physical. And that's all. Serve from Carlos to the backhand of Zverev. I'm going to stop talking about it, and I'm just going to commentate the match as it goes. But we're looking at a very deflated Zverev. Serve from Carlos is a fault. Second serve to the backhand of Zverev. Goes out. 30 love. I want to continue saying something about it, but I'm not going to. Ace from Carlos. Zverev doesn't even try. Hard to not say something about it. Arrgh. Back and forth we go. Little rally here. Forehand from Zverev goes out. 5-3. Carlos. Zverev to serve. Zverev deserves a Grand Slam. He does. Serve from Zverev to the forehand of Carlos. Forehand from Zverev in the net. Zverev deserves a lot, but he's got to take it. Serve from Zverev is a fault. Second serve to the backhand of Carlos. The backhand is Zverev. Backhand from Carlos to the forehand is Zverev. Forehand from Carlos to the backhand is Zverev. Forehand from Carlos again to the forehand is Zverev. Forehand from Carlos is a winner. Forehand from Zverev to the forehand of Carlos. Forehand from Zverev goes wide. Match points for Carlos. Serve is a let. Serve to the backhand of Carlos. Goes in. And Zverev doesn't even try for it. Carlos wins. Oh. Carlos Alcaraz rolls here to a win, and good class from Carlos. He doesn't celebrate too hard. He accepts his win gracefully. But we have on Monday, probably Monday night, a meeting between the world number 1 and the world number 2, Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. It seems like every final the two are meeting since Madrid? Is this since Madrid? Every final? Every big final? Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner going toe-to-toe? Boy, oh boy. And I don't see how Carlos Alcaraz can pull it out. If you're here right now, you know my favorite for the match on Monday. It's going to be Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner is just strong. He is powering through every player. He's winning matches in record time. Terrence Attman coming in with all this energy, all this fire, diffused. Jannik Sinner, I don't think he's going to be stopped. Favorite for Cincinnati and the U.S. Open. You heard it. You heard it right here. I don't think players are giving press conferences after Cincinnati, although I really wish I could hear some words from Zverev after this match. Max, you're welcome. I wish you would have weighed in on the conversation, Max. What are you thinking? Oh, You can bet I'll be here. I'm going to be here. Oh, yeah. I'm going to be here. We got Iga Swiatek versus Rabakina Kurudamatova versus Paulini. I'm going to be here. That's going to be at noon tomorrow. Max, you think it was the heat? I could be too tough on Zverev, maybe. But there's been a lot that Zverev has said lately to the media and on private not private, but on podcast that make me think it's more than the heat. Yeah, there's heat on the court when you step in against Carlos Alcaraz. And in my heart of hearts, I just think Zverev couldn't stand up to the heat of Carlos Alcaraz today. But we respect him. We love him. Catherine, it might have been his diabetes. His diabetes might have had something happen there. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend like I'm in the body of Zverev. I don't know what medically happened. If there's something medically that happened, I'm wrong. And I'll be the first one to say I've admitted that I was wrong in my life many times. But I just don't have that knowledge, you know? So could have been a purely 100% medical issue, and I will eat my words. But again, I say with a lot of the podcast and things that I've listened to, and the intense physical and mental toll that tennis at the highest level can take on somebody, it gives me a second thought. That's all I'm trying to say. But love y'all for being here. A lot of fun. Hope to see you tomorrow for the women's semifinal. Multiple semifinals. We'll be here. Any last thoughts from any of you? Thank you for the like on the video. We had a little bit of chaos at the beginning of the stream. I started talking and my mic was muted, and then my internet went out. Had to restart my whole computer. A lot of stuff. A lot of fun stuff. Once I get to 500 subscribers, I will move from this laptop to a PC, and then we'll be fully in business. So, thank you for being here and hanging out. The stream is only going to get better. I'm going to add more stuff. Right now, I'm just streaming this from straight from OBS. May change over to a different platform if it offers some better stuff. We're just gonna roll with it. But super cool that some of you are here and hanging out and enjoying it. I want you to enjoy it. I give my hot takes, even if I think it may be a little bit controversial. And that's all right with me. I'm going to say it because I'm open to people saying something different. And if you say something different and you say it and it turns out being, accurate, am better than what I have to say, then that's fine. I will accept when I'm wrong, and that's okay with me. So thank you for being here. Looks like nobody else has anything to say. I'm going to head out. Y'all have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you.